It's November 23rd, 2024, and there's no one at Hainan Plaza, and no one at the beach. So where have all our tourist guests gone? Hainan Plaza in Sanya Bay Night Dream Corridor was completely deserted this year. Look, in previous years it was crowded and bustling, but this year it was empty. This is the Phoenix International Airport in Sanya. Look at it, not many people. It's really hard to do travel business and apartment rentals in Sanya this year. I'm doing 5-day tours and apartment rentals in Sanya, and it was quite empty. You will know when you come here whether the hotel situation in Sanya is miserable or not. Why is it so miserable? It's just that no one lives in it and no one comes there. Various price reductions, various promotions, and various promotional policies were implemented, but the hotel was still empty. Take a look, this is the Watsons located at the entrance of Jaifeng Road pedestrian street in Sanya City. You can see that now 2/3 of the shops have been closed, and now only 1/3 of them are left. Therefore, it's simply impossible for a free trade port to be developed in Hainan, and property prices in Hainan will sooner or later plummet. Hainan Province is an island of 33,210 square kilometers in southern China. As you can see from the videos posted by netizens living in Hainan, the current economic situation is worrying, with all sectors of the economy in a rapid decline. Despite this, Chinese official media recently announced that the Hainan Free Trade Port will be launched in 2025, and the whole island will be closed. By that time, zero tariffs will be enforced, and the freedom to open up to the outside world will be expanded, with no taxes on goods from outside the country. By then, more foreign products, enterprises, and talents will be attracted to Hainan, and more domestic products will be allowed to go out of the country. Hainan will be developed into a free trade port that will catch up with Hong Kong and Singapore. But whether the ideal can be realized, experts aren't optimistic. Hainan residents also have great doubts about this. Let's see what they think. Can you imagine? This is the Hainan Free Trade Port, known as the most prosperous place. Haikou City, Longhua District, China Trade Yixing Mall, which is the entire island of Hainan, one of the earliest large-scale commercial complexes. It used to be expensive and crowded, but now it's deserted, closed for rent, and even if it's still open, there's no one there. And there are more shop clerks than customers. These years, Hainan has engaged in a lot of innovation, from the international tourism island to the free trade zone. But the local economy is still so bad. Can the 2025 closure save the economy of Hainan? The answer is blowing in the wind. Hainan Free Trade Port has been proposed for 4 years, but today's Hainan seems to be stuck in the past, and we can't see the development of the bright spots. The housing market is down, the tourism industry suffered a disaster, and agricultural recovery is difficult. Hainan's economy is already at the bottom of the country. The construction of Hainan's free trade port is still in place. There was a lot of buzz about the free trade port, but it doesn't seem to have brought many tangible benefits to most Hainanese. Prices are getting higher and higher, but wages haven't risen. They are still the same 3 to RMB 4,000, and job opportunities haven't increased. Hainanese people are also still concerned about the past development experience. So now the people of Hainan can only be satisfied with the status quo as observers. There is still a long way to go in developing the free trade port, and if local residents can't participate, how can the island develop better? Local residents hope that the construction of the free trade port can really improve their lives, such as lower prices, lower housing prices, and better medical conditions and education environment, which are issues closely related to their lives. Netizens also found that in 2024, unlike previous years, many buildings in Hainan are unoccupied. You see the business here? It's scary. You can see that there aren't many families living in this building, which is the Sun Moon Bay in Wanning. You see, I'm alone in this building. Look at this side of the building. There aren't many residents. The unobstructed sea view is great, and the large balcony is very comfortable. The key is that no one lives here. Unfortunately, no one lives there. Let's take a look at Sanya this year. What's going on? What's going on here? Every year at this time, our neighborhood is basically full. This year, I don't know what's going on, but look at this neighborhood. There aren't many people in one building, and there aren't many people living here. If it's not full, it's also 7 to 80%. The netizen also bluntly said that this year Hainan travel guests have drastically reduced, and many stores have been closed. The temperature in Sanya has reached 30 degrees Celsius, and there are few people coming here this year. This is the night corridor. People say I don't have money in my pocket and we won't go to Sanya this year. The consumption in Sanya is high. Indeed, the price of green vegetables isn't lower than RMB 5, and the price of beef and mutton is more than RMB 50. Tourists who come here for just a few days feel they can't afford to spend money like this. We have to live in Hainan for a long time and feel even more scared. Now, I do have 5-day tour which only charges RMB 1,099. People are afraid to come at such a low price, saying that the airfare is too expensive and that a flight costs more than RMB 1,000, equivalent to more than a month's living expenses. What can we do? Sanya has good weather, but the price of goods is too high. Now, the Hainan tourism industry is dead. Yesterday, I went to Guanan Lake, which has many residential neighborhoods. Few people are in the area, and eating time in restaurants are empty. And look at the Xiong'an group. Several stores are closed. When you go there, you can feel the economic depression, and it's obvious that the economy is in such bad shape. It's said that no one is traveling to Sanya this year. Usually, in November, parking spaces are hard to find in the airport terminal building. But now there are a lot of empty parking spaces. Too few people are traveling to Sanya this year. Why? The taxi industry isn't doing well, and all the cars are empty. Where have all the people gone this year? It's even less than the epidemic. Nevertheless, this year the Chinese official media has been talking about 2024 as the year of attack for the closure of Hainan's free trade port. Recently, many video bloggers on mainland social networks have been publicizing the countdown to the closure of Hainan, claiming that after the port's closure in 2025, Hainan will be on par with the international community with zero tariffs and will become a huge duty-free store. A financial blogger on the mainland said that Hainan is a dead duck. Hainan is a dead duck. I have a friend in Haikou who does the hosting operation of the B&B. He sent me a message today saying that the B&B business is more and more difficult to do. He is hosting hundreds of local houses, which isn't a small scale, and said that now there are no guests. He looked for professionals to ask, from the official data that is, in and out of Hainan Island data. The number of people fell by half. Although this is the off-season, compared to last year's off-season, the number of people in and out of the island fell by half. What do you think is going on? Now, there are still people asking me, Hainan is now a free trade island. Should we go to buy a house? You go there to see for yourself. You will know. I tell you, Hainan houses simply can't be sold. You go to ask the local agent in Hainan. The agent will also tell you the real situation. Since the establishment of the FTZ in Shanghai in 2013, the Chinese government has launched more than 20 FTZs, among which Xiong'an, which has been dubbed the Millennium Project, is a serious mess. Last year, a self-media article stated that the construction of a free trade port in Hainan had also failed, leaving behind countless unfinished buildings. The economy was in the doldrums, with unfinished projects all over Hainan. In September of the same year, Hainan conducted a tax check on the rich due to financial difficulties. Let's take a look at how serious Hainan's unfinished projects are. It's located in Haikou City, the heart of the so-called free trade port, a place with high land prices. Such a large, deserted villa complex is unfinished and geographically advantageous. You can find the drone from a high altitude, only to see that the place is overgrown with weeds. The deserted villa complex has completed its main structure. The rest is only the red brick exterior wall. Haikou City also has an abandoned villa complex. 39 Seaview villas have been deserted so far. No one cares about them. What a pity, there are many hidden stories. When it comes to artificial island projects in Haikou, people will think of the Hongcheng Lake Island. However, there are 4 other equally shocking projects in Haikou. The first is the Ruyi Island in Jiangdong District, which started construction in 2010 with a total planned investment of RMB 50 billion. The second project is the South China Sea Pearl Island on the west coast, equivalent to 371 standard soccer pitches, with an estimated total investment of RMB 5 billion. The third project is the Millennium International Hotel on the west coast, an artificial island with a total planned investment of RMB 2.8 billion. The island was originally planned to be a 7-star hotel with 108 floors, which is one of the best in Hainan province. The fourth project is Huludao Island in Haikou Bay, which occupies an area of about 30 hectares and was originally planned to have a grand theater and a hotel on the island. But due to serious pollution of the water quality of Haikou Bay, the project will be completely demolished in 2021. Take a look at another unfinished project, which is called Shengsheng Garden. It's the largest unfinished villa group in Haikou. Neatly arranged with dozens of villas, the overall framework has been completed and has been roofed. From the aerial video, the villa group of long-term rain erosion into the black, the area has been flooded with weeds and even grown taller than a person. A few buildings are completely covered by trees, and the wild birds inside make people feel eerie. The villa complex's location is still very good. It's located in Haikou Shuiying District, Yongqing Avenue at the end of the west coast. This villa complex is right out to sea, and the environment is beautiful. However, there is almost no information about this unfinished villa online. I don't know what happened at that time. The villa was built halfway and then stopped. This is Longmu in Lidong, Hainan, with the sea in front. This side is full of unfinished buildings. Let's take a look. Continuing along the coast, there are a bunch of unfinished buildings here. It's called Lidong Rongmu Bay Resort. The hotels here have all closed down, and the roadside is overgrown with weeds. 3 other hotels have all closed down. These unfinished buildings are hollow. With no glass windows, all the main body is rotten here. So, can Hainan Island be developed into a free trade port that can catch up with Hong Kong and Singapore after the island is closed and 0 tariffs are enforced? The answer is no. Taiwanese economist Huang Shikong analyzed that the Chinese Communist Party has brought down Hong Kong's free economy and destroyed the rule of law. Nowadays, it's no longer feasible to attract foreign investment to make Hainan a free port. Hong Kong has the greatest advantage if you want to talk about the development of free trade zones and free trade ports. The problem is that you have ruined such a good free trade port in the world. For example, you have the National Security Act and the regulation of enterprises. All these have caused problems for Hong Kong. Can you possibly give up these things in the free trade port in Hainan? That's impossible. Yip Yu Yuan, a professor of international studies at St. Thomas University in the US, also said it's doubtful that foreign investment can still be attracted amid growing trade and geopolitical tensions between the Chinese Communist Party and the West, as well as China's worsening economic environment. This approach, I think, we all know very well. That is, if you want to play like this today, when the first Hong Kong can continue to do so, but you didn't allow it to do so. Today, you want to make such a similar special economic zone. Do you think foreign investors will trust you? I think this is still very doubtful. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, or share it with your friends. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.